Do you love going to Broadway shows, but can't go now because Broadway's closed? Join tour guide Tim and Belasco too as they bring Broadway history to you. Grab your Broadway passport for what's in store on your Virtual Broadway Tour.
On February 13, 1928, 27 stories in the air on 8th Avenue, two brothers hammered the final two golden rivets into the roof of their Hotel Lincoln, putting the finishing touch on their $12 million landmark complex just off of Times Square. In addition to their hotel, now called the Row NYC, the complex included three new Broadway theaters: the Majestic, the Theater Mask, now the Golden, and this week's theater, the Royale, now the Bernard B. Jacobs. All opened within the span of 1 year. The Chanin brothers, Irwin and Henry, had made an impressive name for themselves in the New York real estate market in a very short time. Irwin had a handful of friends in the theater business, and with their help, he was able to secure the Shubert's main architect, Herbert J. Krapp. The trio set their sights near the Shubert's main territory, 44th and 45th Streets. After purchasing the land unoccupied by Shubert theaters on those blocks, Krapp began designs for a bold concept: a small, a medium, and a large theater all in one complex, providing perfect venues for every different type of entertainment, and the three theaters and the hotel are all still connected in the back today. The Bernard B. Jacobs, originally the Royale, was the first of the three theater complex to open. And while it would eventually present many musicals throughout its history, the first major hit for the theater was actually a play. Diamond Lil, a melodrama set in 1890s New York City, was written by and starred the legendary Mae West. Born in Brooklyn in 1893, Mary Jane Mae West began performing at a young age in local talent contests before hitting the vaudeville circuits at age 14 and developing her own persona. Studying female impersonator Julian Eltinge's signature walk, she adopted it for her own. In Diamond Lil, West played the title character, who was a racy, smart, seductive woman way ahead of her time. Starring in many revivals of the show throughout her career, West solidified her risque image in the public eye to great success. Interestingly, another icon known for her risque performances made her one and only Broadway appearance in David Mamet's Speed the Plow at the Royale in 1988. Her name? Madonna. After a shaky start for musicals at the Royale, the theater would eventually live up to its potential as a prime musical house. Fun fact, architect Herbert J. Krapp fully hinted at the musical ambitions for the Royale with the terracotta at the top of the facade. It features musical instruments. The theater would fulfill that musical reputation decade after decade, with such notable performances as the Broadway debut of 19-year-old Julie Andrews in The Boyfriend, 7 of the 8 years of the long-running Grease, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, and Bernadette Peters in Andrew Lloyd Webber's Song and Dance. Most recent notable musicals have included Once, the Color Purple revival starring Cynthia Erivo, and the much-anticipated Company revival starring Katrina Lenk and Patti LuPone that was sadly shuttered in previews due to the global pandemic. In the 1930s and 40s, the Royale had mixed uses as a movie theater and radio soundstage. The next 25 years at the theater would be ebbs and tides of theatrical hits and misses, while its new owners, the Shuberts, were about to undergo a major shift. In 2005, the Royale officially changed names to the Bernard B. Jacobs, a name not all that familiar to the average theatergoer. In 1957, a 32-year-old lawyer by the name of Gerald Schoenfeld was hired by J.J. Shubert to oversee the affairs of the Shubert brothers. Looking for another lawyer to assist him, Schoenfeld turned to a high school friend of his older brother, a lawyer named Bernard B. Jacobs. Over the next 5 years, JJ taught the two lawyers everything he knew about the theater industry, and Schoenfeld and Jacobs became immersed in every facet of the Shubert operations. The passing of J.J. Shubert, the last of the original Shubert brothers, in 1963 was the end of an era. The Shubert organization was in dire straits. It was $2 million in debt, and half their theaters were dark. In 1975, Jacobs was introduced to a young choreographer named Michael Bennett, who was working on an experimental show called A Chorus Line downtown at the Public Theater. On the heels of their newfound friendship, Jacobs booked Bennett's show into their Shubert Theater and made the first of many smart business decisions that set the Shubert organization on a lucrative course, which continues today.
Hello! Happy Saturday noon on Broadway. Can you believe we're back again? Here we are. It feels like we just did this because we did 7 days ago. Feels like so much has happened in our lives. People stormed the Capitol building. Mean Girls is closing. Some big stuff, some small stuff. Our lives falling apart. It's been a crazy week, but here we are. We made it somehow. We made it to another week of this Broadway shutdown. I can't believe it, but here we are. You're here. I'm here. Let's have fun and talk about good things and Broadway and all kinds of wonderful things. If you don't know what we're doing or who I am, welcome. If you do know who I am, welcome back. My name is Tim Dolan. Every week we're coming to you as part of a series that I started called Virtual Broadway Tour Series. Every week we're featuring one Broadway theater. And this week, all week long, we've been doing fun facts, history, and stories from Bernard B. Jacobs. And so today, as part of our Saturday Noon On Broadway series, as an extension of that, we present to you Antoine L. Smith from the Color Purple revival at the Bernard B. Jacobs Theater. This dude is awesome. His voice is a gift from the heavens above, and so it's going to be fun. It should be great. Broadway Up Close, what we do tours of the theater district, history, ghost stories, all the things you didn't know that you really want to know about the 41 Broadway theaters. I started the company in 2010, 11 years ago, which feels crazy. I put on a green shirt, stood in Times Square, and said, let's see if I can get some people to give me some money, and I'll tell you some stories. Since then, I've built out an entire team that I call my green team, that are all actors and stage managers, that are your eyes and windows to the world of our insane theatrical lives. We have 5 exterior tours that we've been offering for the last 11 years. We also opened in October of 2019 our first interior tour, which takes you inside the Hudson Theater, Broadway's oldest. It's been there 118 years. Of the tours that we offer, 5 of our exterior tours are currently available, masked, socially distanced, should you find yourself here in New York City or on a staycation situation. So check out our website for that. Our interior Hudson tour doesn't open, I think, until Broadway reopens. So I think it's going to be a minute before that happens again. I also own a gift shop in the middle of Times Square with a huge 6-foot-tall Broadway sign of 150 light bulbs with marquee letters spelling out my favorite word, and hopefully your favorite word, Broadway. That is all currently closed. So all of that has been moved online to our e-commerce platform. And so at the end, I'll give you a little discount code, and I'll send you to my merch store, and maybe you can buy a button or something. To me, New York City and Broadway are synonymous. If you have one, you have the other. So it is a very strange reality to walk out my door and to specifically walk through the theater district and walk past these theaters and know that no one's inside except our little ghost lights, and that nothing's happening and no tourists are coming in to see shows. It is a very strange New York City. The magic, I don't think, will fully return until our 41 Broadway theaters open. So in the meantime, we're giving you one theater a week, 41 theaters, 41 weeks. I'm insane. Here we are, week 30, the Bernard B. Jacobs, our 30th oldest Broadway theater, because we're working our way chronologically from oldest to newest. I hope you've enjoyed this week, all of the history and fun facts. How's today going to work? Today, we're going to explore Antoine's theatrical journey, his time working on The Color Purple. If you have any questions for him or me along the way, drop them in the comments. And if you're watching live today, comment where you're watching from, so I can see where our stories are going today. It's going to be fun. Welcome. Join me, without further ado, join me in welcoming Broadway's Antoine L. Smith. Ta-da!
Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Looking good, my friend. How you doing? I hear you.
I'm well. Thank you.
You doing good? What do we like this life that we're living? It's an insane life, but here we are. Where are you in New York City still? Are you out of the city? Where are you in your life?
I am currently in Harlem, New York.
Okay.
I did not leave the city. And
you haven't left at all? You've been here
I've
for the
left
whole
a couple
time?
of times, but
Okay.
I didn't leave when this whole thing took place. I just, I stayed.
Yeah. Hunker down, we call that. Just hunkering down. You're
Absolutely.
like, oh gosh. I didn't realize we're neighbors. I'm up in Hamilton Heights. So we're actually
Okay.
probably, yeah, we're pretty close. I'm up on
I actually used to
140th.
live in Hamilton Heights.
Yeah, it's nice. I like it. I like little mid upper Manhattan. It's nice.
Yes, yes.
Um, Tell us, for those who don't know about you and your great life, will you tell us like where you grew up? Will you tell us when you first got exposed to theater, or you realized theater and music was a thing? When that transitions into that's maybe a thing I can do professionally, and get us essentially like the mini bio version of Antoine up until New York City. You set your suitcases down and you start auditioning.
Oh, that's a lot of questions.
It's a
Let me
lot.
think
I know. I know.
back and think about
It's,
those.
it's a
The
lot.
first one was I'm originally from Gary, Indiana, home of the Jacksons.
Sure.
And, people love to quote the Music Man, of course.
Oh, God, yes.
My parents moved to Iowa when I was young, so I spent a good portion of my childhood until I went to college in Sioux City, Iowa. I was first exposed to theater. My grandmother was actually a playwright when I was little, so she had us doing her plays when I was like 5 years old. Like, she would write these amazing plays about African American history and historical times. So that was my first exposure to theater. But
did she do this professionally? Was she like a published playwright? She did this as a hobby and was like, here? Sure.
Right. Yes, absolutely. Modupe Omowale. Yes.
Come on.
And she,
Incredible.
she would have her family do the test runs, and yeah.
Sure, as you do. Okay, so pretty young, you're exposed to like a thing. You have someone in the family who's doing this, so it's okay. You're pretty aware or conscious that this is the thing people do. Okay, that's rare, I think, but especially in Iowa. But sure.
No, this is Gary, Indiana. This is in Iowa. Yeah.
Oh, so it's still in India. Okay, sure. Even more so. You're like that Midwest life. You're like, people do theater there? I guess they do. Okay, so then where does that transition? Do you do shows in school? As a playwright, is there music in your life at all because you do a lot of musicals? Where does that factor into your life?
Well, there was always music. I mean, my mom loved Michael Jackson. And I mean, just period, music was just part of my life. I mean, I think it's a part of everybody's life, starting very early, but it was very saturated in my life. I loved all styles of music: gospel, musical theater, opera. I went to school to be an opera singer, but now I'm in theater.
Sure.
But music has always been a part of my life as long as I can remember. Yeah.
And so then when does that transition from music's a part of your life? Maybe you're doing shows in high school or something. Where does that transition into, I'm going to go to school to get an opera degree?
So at 14 was when I did my first full-on production of a musical. It was Hello, Dolly.
Sure.
I was we had moved to Iowa by then. We were in Iowa by then. I was in Hello, Dolly. I was the only person in the entire production, but I loved theater so much that I wanted to do it. So we did Hello, Dolly. I was one of the galloping waiters. And my music, not musical theater, my choir teacher was like, you know what? I really think that you might want to
really do this
musical theater or opera, or I think you're really, really talented. So we actually started with opera, and then we transition.
Yeah, sure.
Musical theater, but that's where it started.
And so, I've always loved hearing these moments of the first person who says, I think you can do it. So is this teacher, do you look at this as a defining moment of like, oh, see things, and so maybe that is a thing? Or do you keep in touch with this teacher? Is this it just so happened and then on you go? Talk to me about this person in your life.
This was a man who cultivated my abilities. His name is Russ Clifford, and yes, we are still friends to this day. He just saw something in me that not necessarily that I didn't see in myself, but something that I didn't know that I could do necessarily. So, he sat down and was like, learn these pieces of music. We'll learn the history. We'll learn how to sing them. We'll see what
Yeah.
we can come up with, and that's truly how it started. I mean, I was singing out of the 12 Italian arias.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Call me on man.
Oh God, there you go. I was like, we all had to sing it. I was like, oh God, it's been a minute. Cario meal, and you're just like, yeah, me. Italian. It was not great.
I was like, what is it? You want me to sing this? And then
Yeah, you're like, why do we all have to sing the same 12 songs? And there's no other song? You're like, we're all just, okay, this is great. This is going really well for us. Okay, so you make it to college, you get into college, and this focus is opera. We haven't yet transferred or transitioned to musical theater.
Right.
Okay. And so it's all voice all the time? Is it, I know nothing about opera. I just think you guys stand there and it's like nothing happens on your face, but you sound like the most glorious gifts from heaven. Is it just only about the voice?
It truly is about the voice, because where I went to school, there was no musical theater. It was either music or you did theater. So in the classical voice program at my school, it was the voice, the theory, the sight reading, the ear training. It was all of that. And like you said, opera can be very staunch and just, not that you don't know how to act, but or not that
it's not about that.
Taught how to act, or not about it's truly about the voice at the end of the day. So again,
and where is this school? What school where'd you go to college?
South Dakota, in Vermillion, South Dakota. And again, in my program,
do we like that? We hate that? Did you feel people didn't know what to do with you because of your outward appearance? How does that factor into you in Iowa, Indiana, and South Dakota, the whitest places in America? I think you picked all three. You were like,
I think they saw that this was something that I wanted to do. So whether or not I was right for the part, or whether or not I was right for whatever they were doing, they made a conscious effort to allow me to be a part of them.
Okay.
So for that, I am truly grateful. But I don't think I ever felt like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do this because I'm the only one here. Like, they never, ever made me feel like that. And I never felt like that. That just happened to be what it was.
Right. That's South Dakota. You're like, that's, it's the whitest place, I think, in America. I think, yes. Correct.
I was the only one in my fraternity. It was
crazy.
But we made it. We made it.
You made it. And now, okay, then you finish school. You go right from school. You go from South Dakota. You move to New York City.
A little bit, Tim.
How about now? Am I back? Am I there? Nothing. How about now? Anything?
It's just going.
Okay. Hold on. Let me see. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. And now, is it any better?
A little bit. Go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me?
It's still breaking up, but just go ahead and ask your question. I'll see if I can make it work.
Okay. I'm gonna work on this while you talk.
There you go. You're perfect now.
Still got it? Okay, here we are. Okay, we're perfect together. So you get to New York City, you set your suitcases down, you go right from college to New York City?
No. There's a whole other situation.
Okay, tell us.
So after the University of South Dakota, I went to culinary school and got my culinary degree. I went to culinary school from 2003 to 2005.
What?
Literally, I want to say 2 or 3 weeks after I graduated from culinary school, I accepted a job with V Corporation, which was the head of Sesame Street Live, Dragon Tales Live, all of those huge live shows, which rarely exist anymore. And I went on tour with them for almost 3 years, and then I moved to New York City. So it was culinary school, Sesame Street Live tour, then New York City in December of 2007.
That is a turn that I didn't see coming. Did you like Sesame Street Live? Is this 5 years of your life you look on fondly, or what?
Not 5 years, 2.5 years, almost 3. But
Okay.
yes, I look on it fondly, absolutely, because it was my first professional job where I can say, okay, I can really pay some bills with this job. So I
Sure.
have to give love and appreciation for that experience. Being inside a Muppet costume, we had 3. I mean, let me tell you how non-equity this was. And there's nothing wrong with non-equity. I'm just saying, like, there's
No, it
different
just has
rules
its
in non-equity than there is for equity. So we were doing 3 shows a day. Each show was, I think, 70 or 90 minutes, something like that. But we were doing 3 shows a day, like 5 days a week. It
come on.
was absolutely insane. But it was a great experience to play a
Yeah, and if you could do that,
Muppet.
you could do anything.
Right.
Really, you're like
And
Muppet head off.
it
You're
was a
like,
job, and I got to go on tour
yeah,
to like some amazing places, like international places. It was
sure.
great.
I have to just one comment came in, which makes me laugh. Zulika says, "No wonder you can plate your dishes so nicely." So you're killing it.
Zuli,
There's lots
shout
of
out to Zuli. She is so
there's
amazing.
people didn't know. These seem like people that know you. They didn't know this culinary school situation.
Angela,
So
you see Angela, this is Angela. She was also in The Color Purple with me. She said, "Now, brother, I never knew that." She did know that I went to culinary school.
So here we are. People are learning the true Antoine. Okay, so now you take the Muppet head off, and now tell us, what's your first show that you auditioned for, that you booked, that you're like, it's going well, people think I'm talented, I could make a really great career out of this. What's your first moment of like, I killed it?
So let me just say this first and foremost. Everyone's journey is different. Some people have been here 10 and 20 years and still have not done what they've come here to do. And some people are in high school and they're like, "Hey, Broadway, yeah, we want you.
Yeah.
Come on." So I moved here in December. I auditioned for the Cats tour, I believe, in April or May. And I went out on that tour in August. So
And who did you play?
I was actually the understudy for, I was a swing for Old Deuteronomy, Buster for Jones, Gus Growl Tiger, and Gus Growl Tiger. I was so pretty much the swing for all of the cats.
The swing, that just correct. And I was gonna say, though, cats that just sit there and sing really well. Sounds right.
The opening number, though, we had to do a little bit of choreography, but it wasn't anything like the core group of cats with all that.
Yeah. Well, this is like, no, in Muppets, you didn't swing. This is the first time you've swung and covered many things. And what's that like?
The first time I had swung and covered anything in my life. I don't want to say it was stressful. It was stressful at the beginning, but once you've gone on for each of them, it's like, oh, okay, now I can do this. But sometimes you come to work and you're like, oh, I'm gonna sit down and work on this today, and then you get there and they're like, oh, you're on, and you're like, okay,
correct.
Let's just do this. But I have to give a shout out to swings, understudies, covers, anybody that has to take on numerous roles or numerous roles at one time. Please appreciate them, because they are truly the core of the show. I know you have your leads, you have your principals, you have your featured on whatever.
Sure.
But without the swings, man.
Yeah, to me, I'll call them human insurance policies. I was like, these people they're your lifeline. They're why people can go buy a ticket and your show will be playing when you get there, because the show will go on with these people who are making the impossible happen.
Right.
and you just kind of, it's what you say, you show up thinking one thing, and then they're like, no, you're on for Buster Jones today. And you're like, what? Oh God. Okay. All right. Yeah, you make it happen. So what a crazy first experience to like shoot you out of the cannon, but all right. Okay. So then where do you go from that? You get back from tour, you pack up your cat fur, you put your cat tail away, and then what happens?
So Cats tour ended for me in 2009. I did the 2008-2009 tour.
Sure.
I come back to New York City, and then I have a really good run doing regional theater. Like, I mean,
Sure.
2 years of solid regional theater. Great.
And are you playing roles? Are you doing ensemble stuff? Are you more swinging? What are you doing in this
time
world?
I was playing some roles. I got to play Jim in Big River was.
Come on. Oh, you killed it.
That
I didn't see it. But I know you killed it.
Of course, one of my dream roles. So I got to do that, and it was just absolutely amazing. I got to do Ragtime, Booker T. Washington. I'm still waiting to play Cole House.
Sure, it's only a matter of time.
Several productions of Rent as Tom Collins, another dream role, of course. What else did I do? I did. Oh God, I'm thinking back.
And so I'm imagining you walking into these auditions with your opera training, and now we're like moving our face too at the same time. And I'm imagining people are just like, you're hired, sign here. It's some people, it feels like it's a little more tricky. With you, I feel like they're like, live in my house, and they're like, yep, you can do it. We start in 2 weeks. And
listen, I will say that I have been blessed, and I swear I'm truly humbled. Sometimes that is how it happens, and I never take those opportunities for granted. But sometimes I gotta really, really work for them.
Sure.
But at the end of the day, those are some of the ones that I'm like, yeah, I worked for this. I deserved this.
For sure. And so then where do we get Broadway debut? Is Memphis? Is that right? At the Schubert? Maybe.
Man, okay, now this story is gonna,
tell us.
Some people know this story, some people don't.
This is what we're here for. Let's go.
So in 2011, I kid you not, I was working coat check at a restaurant. Don't laugh at coat check, people.
No, please, come on.
The tips are good, especially when you're working in a high-end establishment.
Sure.
So I was working coat check summer of 2011. I'll never forget it. I get a call from my agent. Oh, they want to see you for. Oh, wait. Let me back up. I had auditioned for the tour in like April of 2011. Yeah, we want you to come in and audition for Gator, blah, 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 blah. Audition. I think it was like 2 weeks of auditions. I was like, oh, God, how many times do you need to see me? Fast forward to June of 2011.
Okay.
Agent called. They want to see you for Memphis. Can you come in? And yeah, I can come in. I go in. It's me and 2 other people. So there's 3 of us. I'm like, wait, okay. So it's only 3. Okay. So we go in, we learn this dance combination. When I tell you I'm not a dancer, any of my friends will tell you that I'm not a dancer. But when the time comes where I have to dance, I'm dancing. So they teach us the hardest combination in Memphis. Well, at least for me, it was the hardest combination. But I'm doing it. I'm like, okay.
You're like, I have a 33% chance of getting this. I'm booking this.
Right. So I'm auditioning, like blood on the dance floor, Michael Jackson. They say, okay, everyone, great. We need you to come back tomorrow. We're going to dance again. We're going to do the sides, blah, 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 blah. The worst thing you can tell me to do is learn to dance and go home and be able to work on it, then come back and do it. Oh,
see ya.
I'm really gonna come back and do it. So the next day we come back. I mean, I'm ready. I'm on it. Boom, boom, boom. Hit the step. Later on, come back, sing, do the sides. The next day, my agent calls me. Are you ready to go on Broadway?
No, come on. Bye. No, you lose your mind.
I lose my mind. The first person I called was my mom. She's probably on there somewhere, I'm sure. But of course, the first person I always call is
of course. Yeah.
And I called her, and I started rehearsal July 5th. My first show was July 19th.
You remember it? You still remember it to this day?
I remember to this day, but let me tell you this, Tim. I went on for a lead on July 23rd with no rehearsal, no put in, no nothing.
They were like, today you're going to be doing Buster for Jones. You're like, come on, this life. This life.
I was understudying J. Bernard Calloway. And for whatever reason, he wasn't there for 3 shows.
Sure.
Never had rehearsed this role of Del Rey. Never had a single put in of Del Rey. But I had sat in the audience, and I guess subconsciously in my head was like, okay, well, I guess you know this song, you know where to move on stage, you know. And I did 3 shows. My first week on Broadway, I went on as a principal with
you were on for which character? Who was it? It's Gator? Ray. No, it's Del Rey. Del Rey. That's right. Yeah. Gator's the character who doesn't who doesn't talk the whole first act.
Right.
Yeah, no, Del Rey does lots of things and is doing splits and things.
He opens the show. It's time to lose a day.
That's right.
It's time to great.
You're like, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great, you guys.
It has to be great.
Gosh.
So I came in that.
Come on.
I have this part where I have to carry Felicia up the stairs, Montego Glover up the stairs. We had never done this before because obviously we had never had rehearsal before. So I'm doing fight call before the show. I'm doing lip call before the show.
Come on.
Oh God.
Oh my gosh. And of all of the stages, the Schubert, like one of the most iconic stages, and here you front and center, just like, welcome to Broadway. Hey guys.
Welcome to Broadway.
Come on. Okay, so you kill it. It goes well. People are like, who is this child? Let's go put him in every show. And then from there, it continues to go well, it seems.
It continues to go
what's the next show after Memphis? What's the next Broadway show?
Well, actually, between that and the next Broadway show, I went on the first Broadway tour of
Cinderella? That's right.
Lord Pinkleton.
And that's what Prince is giving a ball. That guy.
Is giving a ball. So classical.
Of course.
You know, I'm in.
Still got it. You're like, killing it.
One thing I will say about anyone that wants to pursue Broadway or theater, try to be as versatile as you can. Like, just learn it all. Just learn it all.
And it sounds like when dance isn't a thing that you ever did, just like still just sweat it out and you'll probably be fine is the moral of the story. I think is what we've all learned here. You were like, what are the steps? I don't know. Give me 20 minutes and I'll be right back.
Man.
Yeah. Wow. You just, I don't know. You're making it look, gosh. Yeah. Okay. You're killing it. Okay. So Cinderella ends, you come back. Broadway is like, come back. And then they reel you in. And what's the next Broadway show?
Okay. Now this is another story that's going to blow your mind, folks. Man, I should write a book. I swear.
You might have to. What have you been doing this whole time? Not writing your book. Get on it. Like, work on it. You have all the time. Let's go.
I'm on tour with Cinderella. And I find out that The Color Purple is having audition. And I'm like, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to be able to go home and audition. They're not going to let me leave Cinderella to go home and audition for another show. What? No.
Right.
So.
And you had you seen the original Color Purple with LaShawne's? No, that was before you were in the
I saw the original.
Oh, you did?
Back in like
2003, 4
or something like
that. Was it that?
I saw it in like 2008 though, like towards.
Yeah, maybe 6, 7, 8. Yeah, something around there. Okay.
So wait, what was my train of thought? Oh, so I was on tour.
Yes.
Cinderella, and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna be able to tell them, oh, I need days off to go audition for another show. They're not having that.
Correct.
By some grace of God, we had a
layoff or something. Yeah.
During the week of auditions. So I fly home and I'm like, well, first of all, I was able to get an appointment. Thank you, God, for my agents at DDO Artist Agency. I got an appointment I go in my first day, I sing, I do my size. Oh, can you do more? Can you do this, and that? And I'm like, yeah, I can do whatever you need. Thinking in my mind, okay, I only have this 1 week to get all the way through everything that I need to. Please, please, please make this work. So I'm in there, you know, John Doyle's in there, Jason Michael Webb, all of the people. I'm doing my auditions. Great. I mean, I'm dressed up. I'm like, okay, I gotta book this.
Yeah.
So I do my size the first day, call back the next day. Boom. Oh, great. Antoine, now can we add this? Yes. Oh, thank you. Boom. Call back, I think like Friday or Saturday. Boom. Thank you. Oh, you were great. Amazing. Boom. Monday, gotta fly back out to Cinderella. I'm like, oh God, if they need anything else from me, I don't know.
Right.
I'm not available to do it. A couple of weeks go by, I'm like, oh, forget it. I know I didn't get it. Then my vacation comes up.
No, come on.
And I'm able to fly back to New York. I still had not heard. And I was just about to do a concert at 54 Below, and my agent calls me and says, Antoine, where are you right now? I'm like, I'm about to walk inside 54 Below. I have this concert. We have rehearsal today. She says, I'm on my way. When I tell you, I waited outside for 15 minutes. My agent, Irene Cabrera of DDO Artist Agency, is running down the street in her high heel, her purse
flapping in the wind.
Her arm. Antoine, you booked it. Oh, man. That literally the story.
Come on, man.
Knew how bad I wanted this, that she wanted to deliver the news to me in person, ran down. Yes, this is what happened.
And needless to say, it was really great. It was a great rehearsal at 54 Below that day. You were like, suddenly I'm singing everything high.
Guess who we got on the phone with immediately?
Who?
My mom.
Mom.
Together.
I should have guessed it. Mom. Oh my gosh. And then you have to go to 54 Below where there's no service. And you're like, and now I can't tell anyone. Come on. Oh, come on.
Man. So
come on.
Now there we are in Color Purple.
And then I'm going to talk to, like, let me tell you from my perspective in the audience of like, I love the show. This revival to me was, I saw the original with LaShawn, sure, which was good. I really loved it, especially her at the end. To me, was like, it doesn't get much better than that. Give her the Tony. She gets the Tony. But this one felt so different. Of course, everything about it set-wise was different, but the storytelling felt so much more honest. It felt so more visceral. It felt so much more emotional. And I think anyone who came on our tours after and they said, oh, I just saw The Color Purple, I would just say, and they're like, I don't know how they do that every night. It changed my life. I'm like still crying. So what is it from our audience perspective? I know that our lives were changed, and Cynthia Erivo, we could do a whole hour about her. Right. But was it from the inside, from the start of it, was it meant to be? Was it a family right away? Did it take a minute to get there? Tell us everything about all that on stage.
Even just thinking about it to this day, I know it was 4 years ago, yesterday actually, that we closed on Broadway. We actually opened it in 2015, December of 2015.
Okay.
Our first day of rehearsal, it was already like a family because we already had this thing that we already had. So that added to it. We knew from day one that it was going to be special. John Doyle allowed us the opportunity to be who we were unapologetically. He started the rehearsal by saying, I am a white man who is at the lead of a Black story. I don't really know much about Black people, about, how Black people were or truly
the culture,
are.
the essence, yeah.
Right. His first experience with Black people was when he went to college in Atlanta. First time ever in his life. So anyway, he gave us pretty much full range to be who we were emotionally, mentally, physically. He gave us that permission. So that really opened up the gate right away for us to trust him and for him to trust us. But
Sure.
the way John Doyle works in his rehearsal process is, if you're not in a scene, you're not in the room. So you'll work on your scene, then you'll go. Whoever's in the next scene, they'll come in, they'll go. And then once you run it, you finally get to see everybody's scene put together. And there were some moments where we hadn't been able to see the scenes that we got in there. We were now able to see them. People literally broke down crying. There was crying every single day in our rehearsal because it was so emotional. It was so heartfelt. It was so true. And it, man, I get goosebumps still talking about it every single day.
And then like Go ahead. Or what I was going to say is, so then it leads to, you're about to move into the theater, and you've done enough shows. I've done enough shows. The people watching, we have half the cast of The Color Purple is also watching and commenting. I don't know if you can see it. It's making me, it's making me smile. But you know, when you do shows, you get to the final process and you're all in love with each other, and you're in this mode where you're like, we're making the best show in the world. Nothing could be better than this. And then you put it in front of people who aren't as invested as you, right? Who have paid their $89 to $189, and they are like, okay, go ahead, first preview. So then what is it like to go from those moments of like, I think we have something special, we're all crying, to bringing in a discerning first preview audience and then the first performance, if you remember, at the Bernard B. Jacobs? What is that transition like?
It was literally like electricity. It almost felt like I'm going to speak from my own personal experience, but I know this is how everybody felt. It was literally like electricity, an out of body experience, because what we did in that rehearsal room to now be giving what we felt truthfully to people in the audience, who absolutely after every show was people sobbing, people, beside themselves, literally. So to be on that stage telling that story with my family of The Color Purple, because we are truly a family. We fight like family. We love like family. We support like family. So to be on that stage telling that story as a family and giving it to the people in the audience, it was truly a spiritual experience like none I have ever felt. And I pray to God that I never have that feeling again. And I only say that because that was such a special moment that I don't ever want to try in my mind to replicate that. Because
And I think you're lucky if you get one of those in your life, and you
are truly lucky if you get one of those. So you take that one and you run and you hold that so deep inside of you that, oh man, I'm getting emotional right now just thinking about it.
No, I mean, but honestly, you're lucky, I think, to get that one, and then for it to run and actually have a run, and then to win some Tonys, and then to I think you guys won the Grammy or were nominated for Grammys, or you're on the Today. Come on.
We won the Grammy, we won the Tony, and we also got some Emmys.
Come on. You're like, this old thing, this little guy.
But
like, where do you put your Emmy?
Beyond the awards, though, like the family that we still have with each other, it is absolutely insane. And I'm so grateful for everybody.
It's one of the questions we got. I'm going to put up the question, but now I don't even know that we need to ask it, but this is a question someone wrote in yesterday on Instagram. They said, do you and the Color Purple Broadway cast still hang out? And with the amount of the cast that's here in the chat watching live, I think the answer is yes. Maybe.
Yes, absolutely. Like we are literally a family. We might as well have been born blood family, because that's truly how thick and how deep it runs.
Yeah, look at this. I love this. Carlos, look what got it done. Here we are.
That's my heart and my pain. Man, I could go on and tell you a story about that Carla Ruth right there. Man.
Patrice says, we go together.
We go a long way, Patrice. The long way.
This is incredible.
So Carla was Olivia. She understudied Sophia. She understudied Suge. Patrice was Squeak. She understudied Nettie and was phenomenal in both roles. Carla, phenomenal. Everybody.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
Reba, Angela. I mean, the whole across the board, it was like, heavy hitters at every moment. I mean, it seems like every single person in that building in front of that wall of chairs was just bringing it. And can you imagine that wall of chairs? I know. I walked in and was like, well, this is different than the last time I saw this. Crazy. Okay, so then you have this divine moment with these people. You have your like gold statue finally gets delivered, and you're like, still got it. And then, okay, then we go what? We go into Carousel. We go into Miss Saigon coming up. MJ the musical.
After Color Purple was Miss Saigon, yes.
Sure. Saigon. And then Carousel Revival.
And then Carousel Revival, yeah.
And then when March 12th happens, 2020, the day that Broadway's closed, you are slated to start MJ the musical, correct?
Yes, in May. Mm-hmm.
So had you...
Oh, actually, can I go back for just 1 second? So
sure, it's all about you. Let's go. Come on.
So after Carousel, I actually had the extreme honor to play Curly in the all-Black production of Oklahoma at Denver Center in Denver, Colorado.
I didn't know you did that. And of course,
man,
killed it. You killed it. I can't even imagine that audience sitting there getting to hear you in silence. Oh, what and you coming out. Like, come on. What are we doing? What are we even doing?
I just had to give a shout out to that production because that also was an extraordinary experience.
This is what we're going to call you from now on, Antoine McBookerson. So listen, we didn't realize, we didn't know, but now we know.
Patrice is one to talk. She is playing Irma Franklin in the Nat Geo Aretha Franklin series that'll be coming out sometime, in the near future. So make sure y'all look out.
Heavy hitters. Heavy hitters. Okay, so MJ the musical, did you do any workshops of it? Are you go in, you get an appointment, you book it, you have no history with the show yet? Tell me everything of leading up to what will be MJ the musical.
So actually, I had went in for an audition, and I'm going to be as careful as I can with this because I have to be. Okay. So I auditioned for the show. I went in. Now, this is one of the times where I went in for my first audition. I went in for my second audition, and then I booked it. Like, it was just like that. But what was so amazing about this one was if you booked the workshop, then, you subsequently got to do the Broadway show. So I booked that in 2018. We're doing workshops. I think we've had like 3 or 4 workshops, but they had been working on it before I joined in 2018. Sure. So in 2018, I think we did like a 2-month workshop. Then we did like another 6-week, and then another 4-week, and another maybe 2 or 3 week after. I mean, they were split up like throughout 18, throughout 19, and we were supposed to start rehearsal in May of this year, and
here we are.
Here we are.
And growing up, one of the first things you say is, my mom listens to Michael Jackson music, was in our household all the time.
My
when
mom
you booked it, is this like, this is for her? She was like, yeah, The Color Purple was great, but you're going to be in Michael Jackson the musical, or what?
Not even
Tell
for
me
her,
everything.
for me. I was like, I'm going to be what? Hometown. But yeah, of course, she's very excited, but she gets excited for everything that I do. Like, it doesn't matter. Like this today, she's excited.
Well, duh. She gets to hang out with me. Hi, Mom. Little did she know the gift that was going to be Tim Dolan. She's like, what? Tim? Oh my, you've finally made it. Here we are.
I mean, everything I do, no matter how big, no matter how small, it's the
Yeah,
same
Mom.
enthusiasm.
Yeah,
Always,
yeah.
always has
That's what
been.
you need those people in your life. You need some good family support. Are you talk to me now? We're in the middle of a shutdown. We're 11 months in. Our lives are insane with no end in sight. What's your mental state through all of this, knowing that MJ will probably happen? You know, who knows what's happening in the world, but there's a good chance that it's definitely coming. Does that give you optimism? Are you like, the world is crazy? Where are you at in this moment on this beautiful Saturday?
I am so blessed to have a good group of friends, family, friends, because I think that is very important. When we are at our lowest, we call on each other. When we are winning, we call on each other. So I think it's important, and especially for me, that has been my saving grace. My parents have been my saving grace. I mean, my parents check on me like I'm 8 years old and I'm 40 years old. But I thank you, God, that I still have the opportunity for them to be able to check on me in this physical life.
Sure.
I've just been blessed to just be able to be okay. And I think being okay right now is simply enough sometimes.
You have to. Yep. I got through, and that feels a little bit of low bar. But when you're in the middle of a global pandemic and your industry is completely flatlined, you're like, we'll take low bar. We'll take any bar.
Some people aren't okay, but some people we're just okay, and we're so good. But I've also been able to I do voiceovers as well, so I've been blessed to be able to continue to have some kind of work in the artistic world. And
that's so weird. I wouldn't think anyone would want to listen to your voice. That's just so strange to me. Come on.
I pray that they never not want to hear my voice.
Sure.
But back to
someone has a
MJ.
No, go.
The producers, they check in with us often. They keep our spirits up. They keep our morales up. They give us any updates that they can. So that also has been great for the mental state right now for all of us involved in MJ.
Boom. And knowing the state of the show in workshops and things, how do you think in the world of musicals constructed from catalogs prior, do you think it's going to be similar to other, I hate the word jukebox musicals, any of these other shows that have used an artist's catalog? Is there something that it's comparable to? Is it its own structure using the MJ songs? Tell us what you're allowed to tell us.
It is its own thing, and I just know that when people come to see the show, just the sheer nostalgia of hearing MJ's music, people are going to be blown away. And I know that when we come back, people are going to be ready for something that comforts them, that makes them go back to the first time that they heard their favorite MJ song. I almost slipped up. The first time they heard their favorite MJ song, and it's going to be extraordinary. I promise.
On our tours, I spent a lot of time on 44th and 45th Street because it's the heart of the theater district. I talk about these buildings. Even in a global pandemic, we still are doing some tours here and there. And I smile because the MJ, the musical logo, has been on 44th Street since I've lived here for 18 years. And I was like, I think it's been here for 16 of the 18 years I've lived here. It's been there forever. It makes me smile. You're like, it will eventually come, right?
It's going to eventually.
Yeah. Great. Good. One question that Samantha has, which I love, it's a little broad, it's a little generic, but you've done so much that I feel like you're going to have a good perspective. Samantha says, well, you're amazing. She starts there. And she says, any words of advice for aspiring actors? So someone, especially right now where things are looking bleak for our industry, what advice do you have as a 40-year-old who's crushing it and killing life, have for someone who's maybe starting out, entering the world of the state of our industry now?
Right. Concerning the state of the industry now, this is the number one thing I've always told people: save your money. I know that sometimes we get on Broadway and we're like, oh, I'm about to buy this new $3,000 handbag. I'm about to go and buy this new $17,000 pair of shoes. Allow yourself.
Uh-oh. I can't hear you now. Uh-oh. There, you're back.
Are we there? Okay.
You're there. Nailed it.
Allow yourself something nice. Okay, that's my first generic answer is save your money. The next thing I'm going to say, and don't take this the wrong way, don't take everyone's advice, because everyone's journey is different. You have to allow yourself to make mistakes. You have to allow yourself to find what works for you as a person, as an actor, just overall in life. Take some advice, but like I said, whatever works for other people is not going to always work for you. You have to figure out what works best for you. And I always use a saying, may the work that I do speak for me. So whatever work that you are doing, make sure it speaks truly to who you are, who you want people to see, who you really are. So make sure that whatever work that you are doing, you are truthful to that work. You are knowledgeable about that work. And that's what I got to give for aspiring actors.
Yeah, I don't know how we'll ever top that. So I think that has to be where we end. You are a dream. You're a delight. You're gosh, this has been awesome. These interviews always go by fast, but this one specific, I was like, oh gosh, we're completely out of time. Tell us in life how we should, is Instagram a good way that if we want to follow along on your journey,
Yes.
Is that a good place to start?
Yes, Antoine. Hey, there we go. Ha ha.
I got you. Da-da-da. Okay, so that's where we'll start. And then my words of advice are go on YouTube, because there's some good stuff of you on YouTube, bringing that gift 3 minutes at a time on YouTube. So they should head that way too. Dude, you're incredible. I cannot wait to see you back in the neighborhood of Times Square, back heading to the Neil Simon to, open this new show.
I can't wait to see you walking through the theater district.
My little green shirt, my little green backpack. Hey guys, here we are. Suited up. It'll all be back to normal. This was a joy. You're a joy. You're a delight. Thank you for spending a piece of your Saturday with us. And I wish you the best of luck as we navigate our way through the rest of this insanity. And then soon enough, we'll all be bumping into each other in real life, elbow to elbow, back in crowded Times Square, which I can't wait for.
Yes. I love you, Purple family. I love you, Mom. I love you, everybody.
You're a dream, Antoine. Good luck with everything, and thanks again. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Bye. It's a delight. You get these people, and you can just see that their essence, their energy shines from them from the moment, and you can see why everyone in the world wants to work with them. You can see there's, of course, this baseline. They're talented. We know this. And of course, people have different gifts, right? But it's the combination, I think, of everything combined with, the personality, combined with that talent, combined with this just drive to, well, I might not dance, but give me 20 minutes and I will figure it out and I will win the game. And I think, needless to say, there's, he's a winner, and it's someone I think you should keep a tab on. You should keep an eye on. Of course, as he talks about Patrice and everyone else from The Color Purple, you've all gone to, for the most part, you've had incredible careers, and it's been fun to watch having this emotional moment with all of you at the Bernard B. Jacobs, which is why we're here today, of course. For this week, it's been fun to watch and to be part of that from our audience side. So congratulations to all of you. Antoine, congratulations on everything. And you made our Saturday great. As always, thank you for tagging along and joining me. I'm going to drop in, if you don't follow us on Instagram, of course, we're here every week. Instagram is at Broadway Up Close. You're here on Facebook, so give us a like and you'll get all our updates and things like that. As always, we have our Broadway souvenirs from our gift shop that's closed, but is now open online, which is BroadwayUpClose.com/souvenirs. If you want a discount for that, Broadway 5 will get you $5 off. Our passport stamps for our Broadway Passport are finally back in stock. And then our Squigs collaboration, Squigs, who's of course our caricaturist for Broadway, our collaboration of his theater cards, those are back in stock. We got them in, we sold out, we're back again. So those are finally there for your enjoyment. You guys are a dream. I can't believe we are in the week 30s of this 41-week journey together. So from the bottom of my Broadway-filled heart, I appreciate it. I hope you're having an incredible Saturday in these strange times that we're living through. And my mantra every single day, we are officially one day closer to Broadway, and that includes today. So I love you all. I'll see you again on Monday for week 31. We're just moving next door next week, and I'll see you then. And we are officially one day closer to Broadway. I love you all. Have a great weekend.